How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay. Being able to leverage your money is one of the most effective ways to boost your financial standing. Whether it's taking out a mortgage for your dream house, getting a loan for that new car, or just using credit cards to cover your everyday spending. Your credit score determines how much you pay to do all of those things. Having a near perfect credit score will guarantee you the lowest interest rates available and save you thousands of dollars over the life of any loan you take out. Having a bad credit score could mean paying thousands extra for the exact same things than someone who has a credit score better than yours. How your credit score is determined has always been a little bit of a mystery. And to complicate things even further, you actually have 3 different credit scores, as there are 3 main credit bureaus that keep credit scores on everybody in the US. Luckily for you and I, the methods they use to determine your credit scores are pretty similar, and your credit score across all 3 bureaus will be relatively the same. So now let's decipher the mystery. Let's look at exactly how your credit score is calculated so that then we can talk about how to increase your credit score and how high you should try to get it. There are 5 areas of your financial life that the credit bureaus look at to judge you on how to determine what your credit score is. First, and the most heavily weighted towards determining your credit score, is your on-time payment history. Your payment history makes up about 35% of your overall credit score. What they're looking for here is that you always pay your bills on time and you don't make a lot of late or even miss payments when you borrow money. By making all your payments on time, you're showing the lenders that you're a trustworthy person and you'll pay back all the money they agree to lend you on time as agreed upon. Essentially, you're a safe investment for them to make with their money. And it's really important to make sure that you're not missing or making any late payments. Because every time you do, it literally shows up as a red mark on your credit report, stays there for an entire 7 years, and majorly lowers your credit score the entire time. The good news is that an on-time payment just means any payment. Even if you're only paying the very bare minimum due on your credit cards, you're not hurting your credit score. The second largest factor in determining your credit score is the amount owed. This makes up 30% of your overall score and is often referred to as your utilization rate. What they're looking at here is how much of the overall credit available to you you're actually using. Again, think of it from the lender's perspective. If someone is using every penny of credit available to them, maxing out all their credit cards and whatnot, that person isn't gonna seem like a very safe bet for me to lend new money to, right? And it's not the total dollar amount that matters. It's the percentage of what's available to you that they worry about. So someone that has $100,000 of credit available to them, but is only using $50,000 of that, has a 50% utilization rate. And that will be viewed as better than someone with $11,000 of credit available to them and is using a full $10,000 of that. The next most important area in determining what your credit score is the length of your credit history and the average age of your open accounts. This makes up 15% of your overall score. If we again think about it from the lender's perspective, the longer you've shown to be a trustworthy borrower, the safer bet you are for them to lend any new money to. This is why it's a good idea to get started building your credit as early, as young as you can. And why a lot of people, myself included, recommend that you don't close out any of those old credit cards you have that you're not using anymore. Not only does that credit limit stay on your credit report to help with that utilization rate we just talked about, but the real important part of this area of your credit score is the average age of your open accounts. So that means if you opened up a credit card 10 years ago and it's the only credit you've ever had, the average age is 10 years. But if you have that card from 10 years ago and a new credit card you open today, the average age of your credit history will be 5 years. But by keeping any of those old credit cards open that you no longer use, you have more and more accounts adding to your credit history. So the effect of any new account you may open will be minimized. Because the next factor that comes into play in determining your overall credit score is new credit requests or hard inquiries. This makes up 10% of your overall score. If you're out there applying for a lot of new credit cards or different kinds of loans too frequently, or if you're seeking out a lot of new credit in a really short period of time, that's going to be another red flag to lenders that will affect your credit score. If you think about it, you may be willing to lend your brother money if he comes to you and asks for it, but If you know your brother has already asked your parents, your sister, and your cousin to borrow money before he comes to you, you might not be as ready and willing to hand over that money, right? Another 10% of your overall score is made up by grading the types of credit on your report, or your credit mix. Having different types of credit on your credit report is a good sign. It shows you can handle different kinds of loans and you're less of a risk to anyone who may want to lend you money in the future. This is something I've noticed firsthand with my credit score. When I went from just having a few credit cards on my credit report to getting my first car loan, I noticed a huge jump in my credit score after a few on-time payments on that car loan got factored in with those credit cards. Then again, when I got my first mortgage and made a few on-time payments with that, in addition to the car loan and the credit cards that were already on my credit report, I noticed another huge jump in my overall credit score. Your credit score is graded on a scale that goes up to 850. 850 is a perfect credit score, but you probably don't need to stress about getting it that high. If your credit score is, say, 750 or higher, you're probably going to be approved for any type of credit you apply for, and you're probably going to get the best rates that are available out there. But if your credit score is lower than 750, you're going to want to try to improve your credit score as fast as you can. So let's take a look at how we can improve our credit score quickly now. Generally speaking, there are two ways why people have low credit scores. The first is you simply don't have enough credit history. It's very common for younger people to have really low credit scores just because they haven't had enough time to build up a credit history with all those factors we were talking about. And the second reason is you have late payments, or God forbid, you've been sent to collections by one of your prior lenders. When you get sent to collections, that means you are so late or you've missed so many payments that the lender assumes they're probably never getting their money back from you. So they send you to a collections agency who will hound you day and night for that money until you start to pay.
Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money, Lebowski?
Now, if you fall in the first category and you're someone who just doesn't have enough credit history to have a great credit score yet, there are some easy things you can do to change that. And the first is to make sure you're keeping the utilization on the credit you do have really low, ideally under 10%. So if you only have one credit card and it's got a $3,000 limit on it, try to keep your balance on that credit card under $300 at any time, even if it means you have to go in and manually make multiple payments on your card every month. Remember, your utilization rate makes up 30% of your overall score. So if you can keep that as low as possible, it's a quick and easy way to improve your credit score when you don't have a lot of credit history. Another way to do this is to call your credit card company and ask for a credit limit increase. Or you can go out and open up a new credit card. Getting a limit increase on the card you currently have or opening a brand new card is going to increase the total amount of credit available to you and thus lower that utilization rate, as long as you don't go and do anything dumb like spend all of that extra credit.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
Mimosas.
Treat yourself.
If your credit score is being hurt by late payments, there are a few steps you will want to take ASAP. And the first and most obvious is to make sure you have paid whatever payments you were late on. While a late payment will hurt your credit score and will remain on there for up to 7 years, the further in the past that late payment is, the less of an impact it's going to have overall. So the sooner you correct that problem, the sooner your credit score will start to improve. And very importantly, if there are late payments or any other information on your credit report that you feel are inaccurate, you can and should dispute them. There are lots of credit monitoring services out there that you can pay for, and they'll alert you anytime your score moves up or down 5 points, and lots of sites that even charge you to check your credit reports. But always remember, you never need to pay to check your credit. Just go to annualcreditreport.com, which is a government website that lets you check your credit report for free from all 3 bureaus once every 12 months. And really, once your credit score is over 750 or so, you really don't need to follow it too closely. Just make sure you go and check your credit report before you're thinking about opening up a new credit card or going out and getting some kind of new loan. That way you can make sure everything is accurate and clean up any inaccuracies before you actually apply. Otherwise, just check it once a year or so, make sure everything looks good, make sure there's no inaccuracies, and that's all you need. I hope this video was helpful. Give it a like if it was. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.